I'm here today to do kind of a checkup to see how I've been doing on my personal reading goals for 2016. Most anticipated reads that I told myself I was going to read in 2016, and also how I'm doing in Book Riot's Read Harder Challenge that I told myself I was going to do this year. So I'll get started and let you know how it is I'm doing and see if I have to make some changes or updates. So first, I'd say that I'm doing pretty well for my Goodreads goal. I set myself a goal of 45 books this year. I think I ended up reading 46 last year, so I kind of wanted to maintain that. I actually have already surpassed that. I'm one book above my goal, so I'm doing really good so far, and that makes me excited because there's still half a year to go. So I'll start with the 2016 reading goals that I made my personal goals, and the first goal was to read more graphic novels. And this one I think I've done pretty well at. Oh yeah, I've done pretty well at it. I've read 19 graphic novels so far, so that's a little bit under half of what I've read this year. I also told myself I was going to read banned or challenge books, and for that I think I've only really read one, and that was The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, so I need to read more of those. The third challenge was to read more diversely, and for this one I've actually been keeping track on an Excel sheet. I think I've been doing a pretty good job. On further review, I have realized that I deserve more like a C-, maybe a D+ in this category. I thought that I was doing well, but apparently not. I'm gonna get my head back in the game though. My fourth challenge was to read in Spanish, and this one I have not done at all. This one is a big fat 0. The fifth challenge is to continue the Thomas and Vanessa book club. So I have a book club with my boyfriend, and this has been going really strong this year. We've read 2 of the series of Unfortunate Events books. We read the 2 last Harry Potter books. We've read Ready Player One. We have been reading a lot this year in this book club, and that's exciting. The sixth challenge is to read 3 or more 500-page books. For this one, I have read 2 books, and it's the last 2 Harry Potter books that are over 500 pages. I do still have a lot of books that are more than 500 pages that I want to get to. Like right now I'm reading Dragonfly and Amber, and I'm also reading The Book Thief. I do expect that I'm going to be successful in this challenge. The seventh challenge I gave myself was to join in on readathons here, and I've done a spectacular job with this one. I have really felt much more with the community. I have joined in TBR Takedown, I joined in Slay That Series, I've joined in on Genreathon, and I joined in on Rainbowthon. So I have been very involved, and I'm still excited because Booktubeathon is coming up, Cramathon is coming up, doing really well with this challenge, and I have met a lot more people on BookTube because of it. Number 8 was to make at least 3 videos a month for this channel, and I have been surpassing that every single month. I'm excited that I'm still super into it, and I'm still super into making videos and editing videos, and hopefully I can continue this. Number 9 is to finish the Harry Potter series, and that one I have completely finished. So that's one challenge that's completely done, and yes, my favorite book was the 6th book overall, and this is a series that I will reread sooner or later. And number 10 is to read Dragonfly and Amber, so I'm supposed to be reading the next book in the Outlander series, and I'm doing that currently right now. I'm only probably 10% into the book, and it's a very long book, so I'm trudging along with this one, but so far so good. I'm doing well in this challenge, and this is something that's going to happen by the end of the year. I'll quickly go through my 2016 anticipated reads goals. So I gave myself a goal of 8 books. I'm gonna keep it 100 here and tell you that I have not read any of these books. These books were Between the World and Me, Bastards of the Reagan Era, The Diviners, Ghetto Side, Night Film, What It Takes, The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace, and My Brilliant Friend. I got The Diviners, but I think I'm not going to be reading The Diviners anymore. I feel like I am not as into the idea of this series anymore, and I don't want to commit to the fact that there's going to be more books in this series, so I think I'm going to take The Diviners out of this one. I also found a copy of Between the World and Me and What It Takes at a library book sale, and I haven't gotten to those books yet, so those are things that are going to happen really soon. And right now I have checked out The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace, and I'm hoping to get to that one in June. But really I'm still excited about 7 of 8 of these books, and I'm still going to try to get to these ones. I just have to get going. Make it a point to put these on my TBRs at the start of the month so I know that I'm going to read them that month. And finally, for the Read Harder challenge that Book Riot is doing this year, they have 24 challenges that kind of really push you out of your comfort zone, and I wanted to partake in this challenge instead of the Pop Sugar one because this one's only 24 books instead of like more than 50 books. So I'm doing this one this year, and of the 24 challenges, I've done 7 of them. I think it's pushed me outside of my comfort zone for only 2 books really. All the other ones kind of just fit well into what the challenges was asking for and something that I actually wanted to read anyway. But the ones that have really pushed me out of my comfort zone, read a book that was adapted into a movie. So for this one I read Wild, and then I watched the movie Wild, and I did a whole video about this. I had started Wild at one point but never got back into it, so this challenge was good for me because it made me go back to the book and actually read it from the beginning to the end. The other one that this also worked for was the Audio Award. I didn't really know what books were Audio Award winners, and I ended up reading the audiobook of Amy Poehler's book Yes Please, and it was so good on audiobook, and I really recommend it on audiobook. I also tried to read the Amy Poehler book in actual physical form, and I read a few pages in the physical form and I just couldn't get into it. The book was so much better served for me on audiobook, so I'm glad that it won an audio award and that this was one of the challenges because it got me to go back to that book. I have ideas of what I want to do for the other challenges that I haven't done for the Read Harder challenge, and I just have to go and do it. I'm excited about it because like it wants me to read a horror book, which is something I want to do. It wants me to read a book set before the 1900s, so it's gonna get me to go back to burial rites, which I stopped reading a little bit ago. And it's going to get me to read Asian authors, which I don't know very many Asian authors, and one just recently won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, so I'm going to be reading that book. So it's just gotten me excited because these are books that I wouldn't have heard about. I wouldn't have tried to find more information about books that could fit these categories, and that's what I want from these kind of challenges. I want to find new authors and new books that I wouldn't have come across. So I think so far this year I've been doing pretty well. Those are my main goals, and that's pretty much it for me. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching this one, and hopefully I can come to you in December and tell you I completed everything and I did all my challenges. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye! Okay.